I'm Elmer. Welcome to Papa's Workshop Wednesday. Of course, today we're back from a long hiatus, and as I made a post, we had a pretty nasty sinus infection. We've had some bitter cold here in the Northeast, and it has kept me from being actually out in the shop. Earlier this week, I posted something about the emergency repairs that need to be done to the shop, and I'm going to kind of touch bases on it. Basically, the entire front of my shop, the lower part of the wall between the deck and the wall of the shop has rotted out. This comes from freeze-thaw cycles and, of course, me using it as my gardening area. And being on the north side, it just was growing moss and never really got a good amount of sunlight and dried out. That's part of the problem. The other part is we've had groundhogs burrowing under this shop for years, and mainly they have done damage to that corner of the shop more than any of the other damages. So we're going to be filling that in, repairing it. We're going to be building a new deck, so that's kind of something that we can do in the spring. It's not nothing we can do about it right now, especially with the rain and the cold. That brings me to the other thing too, that I was working on building the Christmas gifts, but with the sinus infection and my inability to be here in the shop and my work schedule, that kind of got put on hold. I'm going to have to buy Christmas gifts, and I'm going to talk a bit more about that in shop Saturday coming up. That the ability to be able to afford the gifts, not only time-wise, but as far as financial-wise, and making sure that gives the perfect match, because there's a lot of things that go into detail with that. Coming up in January, as I posted on our Instagram account, is this magazine right here and this article, The Handyman's Bench. I built this bench back when I was in high school in 1997 with nothing more than a circular saw and some chisels, some 2x6s, and I think it was about a cordless drill. So I think it was about the only tools I had at the time. The nice thing about this bench is it's affordable. A lot of times you see benches that are great. They're built out of cherry, they're built out of maple, they are massive, beautiful furniture maker benches. If you're like me and you can't afford a workbench, or maybe you don't really want to spend or invest that kind of money into the workbench, then this one would be the perfect one for you. It has a nice drawer where you can store your smaller tools, has a solid flat MDF top, and of course it's built using common construction lumber, and there's nothing wrong with this, especially when you tie in a drawboard joinery, which we're going to actually do a series on, that allows it to build a rock solid stable joint and a very rock solid bench. Some of the accessories that are going to be used are the one that's pictured right here is the Rockler 9-inch woodworking vise. That is going to replace the record vise that was in the original article. That vise is no longer available, and it's an upgraded model by Rockler Woodworking and Hardware. That's kind of nice. I wanted to do it. We're going to also be using a wooden jaw on the vise. We're going to make a 2x3 maple jaw that allows the bench dogs to fit in there as well, that are going to be matched to the holes in the top. Now, some of the modern amenities that we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding, of course, the newer bins. The ones in the article had the small yellow bins, but we're going to be using the Husky bins, such as this one here, to manage the workbench and make it a lot better, a lot more efficient, and of course provide more storage. One of the things that came from the original bench was these Black & Decker threaded, basically I call them hold down clamps. They came from the original Workmate that I had years ago. That Workmate, I kind of killed it prematurely, but I use these on my workbench. They fit a 3/4 inch standard dog hole and will be able to use. What's kind of cool is these are still made by the Shop Fox company, and you can get them through Grizzly Industrial. You can get them on Amazon. They're pretty affordable. They're nice fiberglass clamps, and they last forever. I mean, they're just something that's going to be an investment in your woodworking. The final thing that I'm going to touch on is we're going to be mortising a plate for a Craig hold-down jig. Basically, this will turn around and latch into a slot and a keyhole in a metal plate that's mounted to the workbench. This allows me to build face frames and assemble cabinet frames, or even clamp two pieces of wood together to make them work. One of the things about this workbench that I want to do is I want to make it an upgraded version of it. I want a rock solid bench that allows me and affords me the ability to do my woodworking without scooting around, using my soft surfaces, and if need be, when we move to our new shop, that the bench will come back apart, and I do have family now that will help me move it. The old bench, I didn't have anybody help me move it, so it wound up being left in my old shop, and God only knows, it's probably still there, so kind of hoping it is, but that's what's coming up in January. The first part is I'm going to actually show you how to build one of the legs from the 2x6 lumber. Cut it down, join it, make it work. So that's something coming up in January at the Christmas holidays. We'll start working on that. It's going to be a spring deal, or early spring, late winter project that we're going to be doing here in the shop. We're also going to be finishing up Nani's kitchen. That's one of the big things that she's can put me in the doghouse over. So it's not something that I want to brag about, but we're going to be working on that. So I'm going to also show you how to do some cabinet doors that are affordable and to get things done and get things rolling. So with that, we'll see you Saturday for Shop Saturday. Stay healthy, stay blessed, and see you guys later. Thanks for watching.